You're listening to The Residential Movement, where the focus is on making in-home dental care normal instead of novel or niche. I'm your host, Dr. Ashley Robinson, a house call dentist with a lot of passion for reaching patients who are best served in their home or residence. I'm here to encourage, equip, and empower dentists like you to begin offering in-home dental services for patients who cannot get to the office, while also enjoying a more balanced work life. We discuss everything from dentistry, business, ethics, mindset, and more. Listen in to learn how you can become a part of the residential movement. Hello, residential movement listeners. I have big news for you today. I feel like lately all I do is share big news with you, but that's a good thing because life is exciting and I like to share exciting times with you. So this time, my big news is that I'm pregnant and I'm very happy about it. Chris and I wanted to start a family right when we got married. So our baby's going to be here in February, just 1 year after our wedding anniversary. The timing couldn't be better. We are so excited to meet this little baby. I know I've been sharing so much with you lately that what I'm about to say may come as a shock, but believe it or not, you are not the very first one to know that I'm expecting. I know, I'm sorry. I did tell friends and family before mentioning it on this podcast. I probably told them too early, actually, because I just couldn't contain my excitement. So I'm sharing this news with you after the initial excitement and craziness dialed down a bit, because when the craziness dialed down, that was when I was able to start thinking about what life with a kiddo was realistically going to look like. It was then that I realized just how grateful I was that I made the decision to become a house call dentist over 2 years ago. If you've already read through my free guide called A Day in the Life of a House Call Dentist, you'll recall that one of the sections reviews a hypothetical schedule that I could adopt in the case of parenting. If you haven't picked up your free guide, visit residentialmovement.com/a-day-in-the-life for your copy. Anyway, in A Day of the Life of a House Call Dentist, I do show a hypothetical schedule of how my work days might look once I have children. Now, I have plans and I have ideas about the type of mother I'm going to be, but I've been warned by every single parent that I know that my plans and ideas are going to change once I actually have a child. If every single parent has said this to me, I'm going to assume it's true. So I'm not claiming that I have a crystal ball and already know exactly how much screen time this kid will get or what their diet will look like or that I already have my schedule nailed down. Still, I know that I value family and I absolutely intend on adjusting my work schedule to meet the needs of my family, whatever that might be. I want to set myself up to be a mom who's available to chaperone a field trip every now and then, or a mom who doesn't have to miss sporting events or musicals or whatever my kid decides to get into. I just love the flexibility that my dental house call practice provides. Now, you might be thinking that every dentist can accomplish these things. Sure, a chairside dentist probably can take a day off or leave early every once in a while, but how easily can they do it? I was just talking on the phone with one of my former classmates the other day. She was sharing how she gets so much PTO from her salaried government job, but she doesn't feel like she can ever use it. Anytime she takes off of work, even if she gives her boss plenty of notice, her boss gives her grief. I totally empathized with her. I remember when I was working full-time at an FQHC after residency. During the month of March, I put in a time off request for a Friday in August. That's 5 months' notice. My boss responded to the request with, "We'll see." That's when I knew that I could not be an employee long-term. So I politely told my boss that I actually wasn't requesting time off. I was just informing him that I wasn't going to be there that day in the distant future, so don't book patients. Some people just don't get it. But time with family is valuable. Time is valuable, period. It shouldn't be hard to take a day off, but in some offices, it really is. Some offices need you because they need someone present to do hygiene checks, or they just need you for your production because they're struggling financially. Either way, now that I'm expecting a kiddo, I am beyond grateful that I have complete control over my schedule and never need to ask for a day off ever again. I find mutual availability with my patients, and I work when I want to. This flexibility and freedom might be the biggest reason that you want to become a house call dentist. For those of you who are on the fence between traditional practice ownership and house call practice ownership, I'll play devil's advocate, and I will point out that any practice owner, not just dental house call practice owners, control their work schedule. Yes, technically, traditional practice owners can set the hours of their offices and have the freedom to change them at any time. But there's a big reason that they don't typically shorten their workdays or modify their work hours. That reason is their team. Traditional practice owners have much more accountability to other people than house call dentists do. House call dentists are accountable to their patients. Traditional practice owners are accountable to their patients, but also to their teams. Their practices are able to see so many patients and do all of the work they do because of the assistants, receptionists, and hygienists there. The dental team does support the dentist, but even when that dentist has a bad month, the dental practice owner still has to support them. The fixed expense of supporting a team is a lot of pressure, and that pressure keeps dentists working. Beyond just the pressure of a fixed expense like payroll, this commitment and obligation to a team goes even deeper. As a traditional practice owner, you can't just cut your hours without cutting the team's hours. And if you cut back on the team's hours, you could really be hurting your team. Many team members need to work enough hours to qualify for benefits like health insurance. And even if the dentist doesn't offer those benefits, then the team members at least need to be able to rely on the number of hours they work in order to earn more money. If a full-time team all of a sudden becomes a part-time team, the team members may leave and go elsewhere for full-time work. Long story short, there are a lot of factors to consider before a traditional practice owner can just take a day off or shorten a workday. And I get it. I pick up short per diem shifts sometimes at dental offices because I still like to do some chairside work now and then that I can't do at people's homes. I love the teams that I get to work with. I have a lot of respect for them. I want them to have a healthy income and benefits and as many hours as they need. I'm grateful to their employers, the traditional dental practice owners, for having businesses large enough to sustain them that way. I'm also grateful that my business of a dental house call practice does not require many other employees for me to be accountable to. I do not have a large hourly team to support. My house call practice doesn't have any team members. I operate with an administrative contractor very closely, but she ultimately makes her own schedule. If I decide not to work, I'm not disappointing anyone, not a hygienist, not an assistant, or anyone else who is expecting to be paid that day. I'm only accountable to my patients, not a team. So as long as I schedule enough time to work and meet patient needs, I am golden. So yes, the truth is that any dentist in the right environment can make their schedule work for them, but those environments are very hard to find. I do believe that being a house call dentist makes it easier for me to build a schedule that will allow me to spend the kind of time that I want to spend with my family. Wouldn't you love to make your own schedule that works for you and your patients? House call dentistry absolutely allows you to do this. I mentioned before that I'm grateful I made this decision years ago, and I really am. But please don't misunderstand me. I still think now is a great time to become a house call dentist. Sooner is definitely better than later because there's just such a need for in-home dental care in your community right now. If you're interested in becoming a house call dentist anytime soon, I recommend joining the waitlist for Dental House Call Practice Academy at residentialmovement.com/DHCPA. Dental house call practices are amazing for many reasons, and time freedom is one of the greatest ones. I've enjoyed this time freedom for the last couple of years, but I know I'm going to enjoy it even more as a mother. What would you do if you had total time freedom? It's fun to think about, isn't it? Well, whether you decide to pursue dental home care or not, please consider supporting patients in need of it by contributing to the Home Smile Care Foundation. The Home Smile Care Foundation is a nonprofit organization founded by myself and my loved ones to offer financial support to patients. Visit homesmilecarefoundation.org for more information. Thanks for listening in today about the time freedom that a dental house call practice offers. I promise to keep you posted about the baby. I really appreciate you. That's a wrap on this episode of The Residential Movement. If you like what you heard today, please leave a 5-star review and subscribe so you don't miss an episode. If you know someone who could benefit from this information, please share this with them. All of these actions help fuel the residential movement. Visit residentialmovement.com for show notes and for access to any links referenced in this episode. Thanks again for listening, Doc. Keep up the good work.